have been thinking about this all week, and I think probably a lot of us have because the weather in most parts of the country have been really cold. But I have finally sat down to put a list together of 8 patterns I want to crochet and knit this spring and summer, or should I say for this spring and summer. It might sound like I'm starting a little bit early to some, but I am a slow knitter, a little bit faster at crocheting. So I want to make sure I have ample time to actually wear these pieces in the spring and summer. And if you're slow like me, maybe it's even a little too late to start some of these. I'm just kidding. But if you want to see what I will be making, then keep watching. If you have something similar on your list, please share below. I love to see different color combinations that people think of. And if you have something different, also please share that because it's super cool to see what everyone comes up with for their spring and summer wardrobe. I also want to add that I do say 7 patterns at some parts of this video, but I will pop in at the end with an 8th pattern that I almost forgot. I don't know how I almost forgot it because this is a project that I am super excited to make and I already have yarn on the way. So how it slipped my mind, I do not know. But I do think it's a staple piece and I think a lot of people could make good use out of it. So stick around to see what that 8th pattern was. I'm starting with my little guy here. This is Winston. He's really old. The reason I'm showing him is because I really want to make him this sweater for the end of winter and spring. It's a Chihuahua mix, so he gets cold really easily. And the reason why I'm really hesitant to make this sweater is because unfortunately Winston has really bad congestive heart failure. It's really sad and I don't want to cry on camera. I'm just trying to make him enjoy his life the best he can right now. He is on the medication for it. My biggest fear is the sweater curse and I want to make him the sweater so bad. I have the right leftover yarn for it, but my biggest fear is that I'm going to start knitting it and then something will happen. I don't believe in the sweater curse, but then it's always in the back of my mind when it comes to something like this. But I love this little guy. He's been in my life for 14 years and he loves laying on my knit projects. So there's something so special about knitting him a sweater to me. So maybe it's just something I'll have to work up in one day and get it done really quickly. He is only 10 pounds, so I feel like that could be manageable. But yes, I just wanted to show him because that is something that's been on my mind. He's always laying right next to me. It's just he's not always in the frame when I'm recording, but he's very special. Alrighty, I'm going to hold my phone here because I have my list on my phone and I will pop pictures right here. And some of the yarn I do have in person, so I'll hold that up to the camera. The first top I want to make is the Miu top. I know this has been really popular on TikTok and it's one you may have or you may recognize, but it's so cute and I actually have the perfect yarn for it. I love that you can kind of wear it different ways, slouchy on the shoulders. I find that in summer and spring I really struggle styling tops with jean shorts or even just a pair of jeans. I am very short and my torso is very short, so I feel like the Miu top is the perfect slouchy shoulder and has kind of a shorter body to it, or you can knit a shorter body to it. I'm also a little bit closer to my 30s, so I feel like it's nice to have a top that feels mature but still is super cute. My goal for the Miu top is to use one of these merinos. So I actually have a lot of this because I was going to make a sweater. So it is the extra fine merino from Hobby, and if I'm correct, I think the pattern does use super fine merino, extra fine merino. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I think I'm gonna make one actually in this hot pink color first and then possibly in the light pink color. This light pink color doesn't do much for me, so it might have to be a top I wear in the summer when I'm more tan. But like I said, I have a lot of this and I think it would be really pretty. It's so soft and I think it could end up nice and stretchy too. So that's my plan for the Miu top. Okay, next is this cardigan that I am actually obsessed with. I've seen the sweater version of this a few times on TikTok, but not as common as some other knits. I actually landed on this website because of the dog sweater I showed earlier that I want to make for my dog. and I don't want to butcher the name of it, so I'm not going to say it out loud, but I will have it right here as well. This sweater would actually be for my boyfriend, but I will hope that it would be like a cute oversized look that I could steal. Especially when you put so much time into knitting something, it's so nice when like your friend or boyfriend or partner or significant other can both wear the item. So I actually usually try to make up my own colorways, but I love the colorway they show this sweater in. It is Knitting for Olive yarn. I have not bought from them yet before, but I hear really good things about them. They seem super ethical. And honestly, I browsed their website the other day and their colors are stunning. I feel like I always try to stay in a neutral palette, but I want to tie colors into my life. So with Knitting for Olive, I feel like their colors are the perfect balance of tying colors into my wardrobe while also keeping in a nice muted palette. I think I'm going to order this yarn in the next couple weeks. I'm like so excited to get my hands on the yarn and like feel it. This sweater is definitely going to be a bit pricier to make because they do mix it with the mohair. That will make it a bit of a warmer sweater, but I feel like there's some chilly summer nights where you just, or spring, that you just want to like throw a heavier sweater on. You can drape it off your arms to still get airflow. And it's awesome to have a sweater or like a cardigan that you can wear all year round. So that is definitely getting made this spring. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts for me. I am getting that sweater done. I kind of want to surprise my boyfriend with it too. So yeah, that one's been on my mind heavy. So the next few tops that I found are actually on Etsy. I've bought in patterns on Etsy before where I actually feel like they were a bit confusing to follow. So this time around, I'm really trying to focus on the reviews to make sure it's something that I can follow as a newer knitter. But the next top I want to make is this top right here. It is called the Cairo Cowl top, and it is designed by Made by Rosh Pattern. I think this is another really versatile top that's super cute. If I can use the merino extra fine yarn that I showed earlier, which is this one, I actually want to make it in this color. I have to look at the gauge. I haven't looked at that yet, but my goal is to not buy more yarn for that. So I'm hoping I can use that, and I haven't looked too much into this pattern other than that, but I think it would be the perfect spring summer top that once again you can pair with cute jean shorts, jeans, any type of pants really. I just love the slouchy look of it. This next sweater right here I actually found on Pinterest. I should call it a cardigan, and I immediately fell in love with the texture of it, and it just looks unique and kind of different than a typical standard knitted cardigan. And I actually started this one already. Now, there's no pattern that I can find on this sweater or cardigan. There may be one out there, so if there is and you know about it, you can definitely comment it below because I always want to give credit to like whoever created it. However, I'm trying to kind of create my own version of it. I'm going to show it to you because like I said, I did start it here. I am using Wool of Andes for this, so it is going to be a bit of a warmer cardigan. I'm a little bit concerned because it's a little bit scratchy so far. I have very sensitive skin, so I should say that. And it is feeling a little bit scratchy, but I'm hoping once I block it, I can kind of condition it and soften it up. A cardigan is usually like thrown over other clothing, so I hope that kind of helps too. But let me show it to you because I feel like it's turning out cute so far. Now, it's actually funny because usually when I freehand sweaters, I think the neck looks too small and then it grows way too big by the time you add like the sleeves on and everything, and that's because sleeves are so heavy and the rest of the sweater is heavy. So I started on the smaller side for this cardigan, and I am a bit concerned because it looks really small to me. However, it is really stretchy, and I'm probably going to add ribbing here for like buttons, which the picture does not show. So I'm hoping with all of that, it will make it wide enough to close in the front here. But basically, I started with a 1x1 knitted ribbed collar. And then I did do some German short rows, which this was my first time teaching myself this, so that was really fun and cool. It's not perfect, but I was definitely happy with the way it turned out. So I did that with the standard stockinette stitch, and then once I was done my German short rows, I started the garter stitch. So the garter stitch is going to be most of the body, and then about halfway down it will turn to that ribbed stitching that you see there. So maybe I'll make a video about this sweater alone with how it turns out. Very excited for it. I'm loving the texture, and I'm hoping it turns out how I picture it. I think cardigans are really great for spring and summer too, because it's another sweater, like I said earlier, that you can kind of wear throughout the year. So next is a petite knit pattern. I actually have yet to create a petite knit top, and I know there's a lot of discourse about this on TikTok and the internet in general, how some people love only making her tops or a lot of her tops, and other people feel like they're too common to make. And I do kind of have my own opinions on that. I feel like they're so common to make because they are very easy to wear often. They're very minimal pieces to have in your wardrobe, which is what I'm looking for pieces that I knit, because you put so much time and effort into them, and I have been trying for so long to build a staple wardrobe that I feel like I just haven't been able to master with clothing brand and stores that exist. Also quality, very good quality is hard to find now. So I feel like the petite knit patterns are the perfect patterns to kind of get that staple piece in your closet. This top specifically I think will be amazing for spring and summer because it looks light and airy. It's not super heavy. The only thing I have noticed is she does pair mohair into this top when I kind of looked over the more information about this pattern, and I do not want to pair mohair with the wool because that will definitely get pretty hot for spring and summer. So I'm going to see if I can meet gauge with just like a merino wool. I have to play around with that. That is all really new to me, so I will see if anyone has experience with that. Please let me know. But yeah, I really would love to knit it in this merino care. It's 100% superwash merino from Hobby again. I love this color for spring and summer. I think there's something so fun about it. It is a little bit of a thicker merino than the extra fine one I showed earlier, so I'm hoping this can meet gauge for that top because I think that would be super fun. The last top I want to make is, this yarn's going to look really familiar because I got it to match the extra fine merino that I showed earlier, but I didn't end up making a sweater with it, and that is because I made a sweater, the mosaic crochet sweater that I have on my TikTok. I made that with Palette by Knit Picks and this kid silk from Hobby, and it is the itchiest thing I've ever worn. I don't think it's the palette wool I used because I made my grandma a Sophie hood with that and it didn't scratch me when I was trying it on. I truly believe it was this mohair. So this sounds really silly, but I kind of want to make this top using up this mohair because I need to use it. I have a lot of it and I don't want it to go to waste. When I touch it, it feels soft. It's just like seems to be the knit of it that was super scratchy for me. Maybe it was because it was mixed with the palette and it was like the combination of both. I do want to try to knit kind of a loose top. Now, sheer tops aren't my style per se, but I do feel like if I could figure out a way to style them, it could be super cute. It's a little bit risky. I hate that I would spend so much time to knit up a top and then not wear it because it's super scratchy. But a couple of my friends are the same size as me, so potentially I could gift it to someone if it is too scratchy. I just have the most sensitive skin on this planet, so maybe someone else might be fine with this mohair. It just hasn't proven to be great for me, but that's my plan, to at least try to use it. I think if I use a big enough needle, I could at least knit it up fast just to be sure that it didn't take up too much of my time. Okay, I know I said 7 patterns, but I actually forgot about an 8th pattern, and I'm very excited for this. So this is the Dusk Bag by Loose Ends, and I've seen it also a lot on the internet, but I've actually made 2 of these bags already, and I did this last summer with the completely wrong yarn because I was super new to, I shouldn't say new to crocheting. When I say new to crocheting and knitting, it means like in my life right now. I knitted and crocheted, or I should say I crocheted in my early 20s. 20s a lot, and I also knitted and crocheted when I was like 11, 12, and 13. So it's just like new to me in my life right now, and I did have to relearn some things. So completely off topic, but did crochet this last summer, and I really love the bags, but the yarn I used is so stretchy. You're gonna laugh at me, but it was actually the yarn that I used to make woobles, if you know what woobles are. I just had some left over that I found at Joann's when they were still open and it was on sale, and I just like doubled it up and used it to make the dust bag. I want to make a pretty decent sized one, so I actually ordered t-shirt yarn from Loose Ends website for the first time. Now the shipping was super expensive, and when I looked back on how much I paid, I was like, why did I do that? Because it was as much as the yarn. I didn't realize how much the shipping added up to when I checked out. I was thinking like, oh yeah, the yarn just like cost that much, because I was like going in to look at it and then a different day like looking at it again, and when I actually checked out, I just didn't realize the cost. So if you can find t-shirt yarn anywhere else, if you are in the United States, maybe try to do that, just because once again the shipping was a lot. But I do love to support a small business, so do with that what you will. But yes, I'm very excited to make it. I got it in this color, and I think it's going to be a really cool bag that can be spring, summer, or fall. So yeah, that's the 8th pattern I wanted to add in there, and I feel like I can't skip that one. Alright, those are the 7 projects that I'm really looking forward to making this spring. I will try to kind of make a video for each project as I go. And please share your spring ideas. I love to see what everyone has in mind to make. It's super cool to see how what we want to make fits our personalities, how we visualize the colorway and all of that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye!